Alright, so it is time to show you how to convert a game. This, as you can see, is a World Series this season, and the game does work. I tested and all that kind of stuff. I'm actually keeping the circuit board and the control panel for my son, because he actually really loves this game. So we're going to keep it, but I need the cabinet for another customer of mine who wants a Multicade. I know some people are on the fence about like converting an old original into a new thing, but this game isn't all that great. Some people love it, but this is one that I would definitely convert. It's complete, it's got the full game board, it's got our power supply, and let's see what kind of monitor we have. We have a G07 CBO. See if I can't get in there. I'm not going to really get that good, so we'll have to just let it be. You have to trust me. Alright, so like I said before, this is going to be converted to a Multicade. I don't know what type. I don't know if it'll be a 16-in-1 or a Pandora box. Customer has to let me know yet. So what we're going to do is get set up on the tripod, and we're going to go ahead and just start removing things. We're going to get the game board out, all the parts inside here, the monitors coming out, the wire harnesses, everything. And as you probably saw in the title, this is part 1 because we have a lot of cabinet damage we have to work on. We have some stuff right here, chipping out here, and the lower part of the cabinet too is actually not in that great a shape. You can't see it too well now, but when we get laid on its back inside, you'll definitely see it. Okay, now we're all set up over here to start taking stuff off. I guess before we do that, I kind of want to show you. All these connectors were pre-done. I did a couple right here, the J1 and J2. Oh, and the J4 and 5. I just did that in case I decide I'm going to keep the harness for the game my son and I will build for it later, but we'll just have to see. But very first thing we're going to do is start taking all these connectors off. All over the board. So then we can actually remove the board. That's pretty simple. And I'm not going to remove it from here. I'm going to take it off from here. I'm going to take the whole plate, the 9, everything. Okay, so we'll go ahead now and start removing these connectors. Now you want to be careful. If you can, it's the most ideal thing is don't grab it by the wires here and pull it out. That's just going to be bad. Try and grab it by the actual plastic housing and just, if you need to, wiggle it back and forth gently till it pops off. Alright, so go ahead. I'll get the rest of these popped off and then we'll take the board off. Now some of you might wonder why I took the J2 to P3 off, because it's almost like an interconnect from here over to the other board. Well, I wouldn't if whoever had this cabinet last went and hack it up. You see how they have all these little crimp connectors here? This is most likely not factory. I could be wrong. It could be done this way in the factory. I hope they didn't do it this way, but that might be the way. So I can't get it off any other way, and I'm going to need to do it like that. So we'll come over and we'll just keep getting this done. Okay, so there they are. All the connectors are completely off. So now the board should be able to come out no problems. And I'm going to show you this real quick. I have 4 screws just like that. Just going to use my simple little 1/4-inch nut driver, and that will take all those screws off of there. I'm probably not going to be able to get a good view back over here, but there's a screw there, and there should be another one just right up over there. You're not going to see it, but it's there. So, alright, get you buying a tripod. Alright, now that we're back, we'll go ahead and we'll get this all taken off. Okay, as you guys saw, it's, for the most part, pretty loose. See, I can wiggle it around. So from here, we're going to want to be careful on how we hold it. This is not really the best way to hold it. There's better ways to do it. But just be careful so don't go flying out on you. I guess the biggest thing is you just don't want it to drop. Just don't drop it if you can. I'm probably going to drop it. Oh, would you look at that? I didn't drop it. Cool. Alright. There. Alright, let's get a little zoom in here. Get you set up. Alright, well there's the circuit board. Yeah, and tell you the truth, I mean, it's in pretty good shape. There's no doubt about it. There's definitely things that can be replaced on it. The batteries really don't look all that great. They're pretty old. There's especially a lot of older caps in here that could be replaced as well. So this will probably be a future project, you know, showing the kid how to do it, let him have some fun with it. It definitely needs new header pins and all that. But that's not that big of a deal. That's pretty easy. All in all, it looks to be in pretty decent shape. Okay. Well, I am going to go store this so it doesn't get any damage to it. And then we're going to keep going and see what else we take off here. Be right back. Alright, so we're back again, and we're going to take the power supply off now. Just a standard switching power supply, nothing fancy. All we have to do is loosen up the Phillips screws right here, remove the harnesses, and then take our 1/4-inch nut driver and remove a nut right there and down below here. And our power supply will be off. It'll be that simple. Okay, I spoke too soon. It doesn't look like these are spade connectors, maybe. Oh, never mind. I was wrong again. Cool. They're just a lot wider than the other ones, so they're on low tight. Alright, so power wires disconnected. Now time to remove power supply. I'm going to take this nut from the lower side off first, if I can get to it. Well, what in the world is making that not want to work right? I may end up needing to get a flat blade. Maybe I'll just do the top one first and then see what's going on. There we go. Now I can actually see what's going on with that bottom one there. I may end up having to go get a flat blade. Flathead screwdriver, however you want to call it. Yep, I'll need a flat blade. I'll be right back. Oh yeah, I'm back. And I got my flat blade. Okay, power supply is out. Now, I'm going to keep the power supply, obviously. It works. I tested already, and you have +5, +12, and -5. 100% working. So, I'm going to keep it, but I'm going to use it for testing other game boards, or if I just randomly need a spare that I know works for one of my personal games. I will not reuse this for the customer's Multicade. That wouldn't be a good idea. You just take too much of a risk of it being bad, and then you have a problem you have to fix, and that's never good. So we're going to keep that. Alrighty, so on to the next part, which is taking off the power distribution block, essentially. It's the transformer for the television set, or monitor. It's sounding like Todd Tucky now. So, what we need to do is just basically remove it. Now, some of these wires we're going to have to snip off. It's not even a big deal. Mainly because they don't go up to an actual Molex connector to disconnect like the power wires here that run up the side of the cabinet to the Marquee. And then there's a few of these wires here that run from the power supply, so I gotta cut these zip ties just to loosen them up and get them off the main harness. So just cut those real fast. Now I'm not worried about making the cabinet a mess. I'll clean it later. There we go. So now those are free. Now, alright, I got one more I gotta cut towards the bottom there. This one right here. To separate the wires that run the Marquee. Like I said, unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to, I'm gonna have to cut the wires that run up to the Marquee, which isn't a big deal. So I'm just gonna snip them real quick. So we gotta get these ones cut. And this one. There we go. Now our Marquee is free. Now we gotta work on our outlet, our 120 that goes to the monitor. But anyway, so this is the power that goes for the monitor. The funny part I found was this. See, they obviously were in a pinch. They needed to get it done, get it prepared for, I don't know, on site, or maybe they were having a get together. But yes, this works, and yes, I've done it myself. But no, you shouldn't do that. You should do it the proper way if you're going to, and get the Molex connector that fits this so it's done properly. So that cord's disconnected, it's out of the cabinet, now it's back down to here. Okay, so everything's disconnected from here, so all we have to do now is remove the 4 screws that are around the outside, and then remove the screws for here, so we can get this off as well. We'll actually start there first. Take our flat blade screwdriver, go ahead and try and remove this. Alrighty, so that's been taken off. Now I'm going to go ahead and try and remove these with the nut driver. They're pretty nasty looking though, I'm not going to lie, so I don't have much hopes that it's actually going to work. Well, I'll be dipped. Okay, there's the last one. Now, as long as I'm not missing one, which I could be yet, it should come right off. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Okay. Sweet. We'll get this zoomed out a little bit here. Alright. As you can see, the only other thing that's attached to it is the main power cord. So I'll grab the power cord from around the side of the game here, and we'll get this transformer block, power distribution block, whatever you want to call it, out of here. So now we're going to move on to the front part, which basically is going to be taking the coin door off, the speaker grill off, the speaker out, the control panel off, Marquee and monitor, of course the bezel too. And then we can do all the nitty gritty little stuff that's left, like the wire harness that's tacked to the sides, the Marquee lamp and stuff like that. But we're going to start with the marquee area, just so I have a spot to put my light to clamp onto and be able to see down here better. But what this will be is, there are 3 screws down below. This one's actually missing its middle one, but whatever. And then we got some on the top here. Probably can't see them really well. And like I said before, it's just going to be these 3 screws up here. And you could get the ones on the bottom first if you want, but then just be ready to catch the marquee when it comes falling out. And one is plexi, I'm pretty sure it's... And this top bracket should come right off. Excellent. And then the marquee itself. I spot these screws. Alright, anyway. And the marquee itself. Yeah. Alright, we're going to have to do the bottom as well. So we'll get the bottom off loose. We won't take it completely off. We're just going to loosen it. Just enough to release the marquee. And it's actually a translite. I didn't notice that. Oh, not even a translate. I'm going to put an extra piece of plexi over it to protect it. Look at that. It's attached to its very own. That's cool. It's in good shape too. Nice. Alright. Sweet. Well, let's get you back down to ground level and go from there. Anyway, so now we're going to take the control panel off so we can get the monitor bezel glass off and go from there basically, because we need all that out of the way to get the monitor out. So, got my light in here. We'll check on that speaker in a minute, but right there is the latch that we need to be able to get the control panel off. There's 2 of them, one on each side. Then all it is you grab the bottom part of the latch, you pull it up, and you unhook that from that piece there. Alright, I'm going to do the other side quick, and then we'll get the control panel off. Okay, so, got you all set back up again. Now I did it off camera, but I disconnected the 2 harnesses because they actually had Molex connectors, so yeah, awesome. Well, they should be. Now, on this side, there's going to be the same kind of clamp that I just showed you. That's it. And then now from here, we should be able to pull this control panel right off. And by the way, if you can't tell, yes, this thing is in horrible condition. I'll show it to you when it's... Yeah, I'll show you. Alright, yes, there it is. There's both those harnesses I just disconnected. See if I can't get you... Yeah. See, that thing is definitely seen better days. We'll get a new CPO and all that kind of stuff for it and get it all cleaned up and looking good and working nice. I gotta decide if I want to reuse this though. Like the wooden part of the control panel for it, or if I want to just build a new one and just keep this. I guess it's just going to depend on how much work it's going to need, but we'll see. We'll see. Alright, so we'll get that put to the side. Then we'll start getting that bezel out. Now we're going to try and get this monitor bezel out of here. Just got to be careful. Attempt to be careful. Yeah, it's pretty filthy in there. Probably going to be stuck. My luck. Just gotta get underneath it. Normally they got some kind of a groove or a slot cut out for like a finger hole, but dang. Alright, so there it is. Big piece of glass too. That's a really big piece of glass for a monitor bezel, dang. It's a very generic one too. Just gotta get the Phillips screwdriver remove these two screws, and then we'll have that monitor trim off there. This I'll keep depending on what kind of multicade I end up getting, because there's a lot of different options, you know, for vertical and horizontals. If I end up with a vertical one, well, this might not be as useful. We'll just have to see. And if I can convert it. So there's that. Just take a look. Well, I could. Look at that. So never mind. Scratch that. I'm going to definitely keep this trim piece so I can take that off. Even better. Alright, so I'm going to go get the tools needed to unbolt the monitor, and well, we're gonna get the monitor out. So I'm getting ready to get all the tools together and, you know, pull a monitor out for you guys, but then I realized something doesn't look right here. And well, when you look down in here, the frame or the chassis of the monitor goes over into this, you know, beyond this point of this metal bar, and you can't just pull the monitor out. At least there's no groove there. And I'm starting to really look. I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't even look like it's supposed to be. Something look weird? That's definitely somebody's not so handiwork. But I mean, it worked for now. The only problem is I'm not gonna be able to pull the monitor straight out through the front like you normally would. It's that way on both sides, actually. I'm gonna actually have to loosen up or take the bolts out and slide the monitor through the back. So it's a very unique way they got that set up. I can pretty much guarantee that's not factory. If anybody's ever seen that from a factory, I mean, let me know. I know it came from an old arcade, and I've worked in plenty of arcades, so I know you do whatever you gotta do to keep it going. So, alright, I just want to show you that quick, and then, yeah, let's slide this monitor out the back, I guess. Mistakenly saw. It's out. My wife came out and gave me a hand with that, so that was pretty nice of her. So, there it is. Monitor's out. We got a big wide open gap now. Now we can start working on other stuff, like getting all this jerry-rig crap off of here, and getting our speaker off, our coin door taken off, and then get all the harness out. So now it's going to be time to start taking the coin door and the speaker grill with the speaker off. The coin door is on with different size bolts and nuts, but that's okay. We'll figure that one out after we do the speaker. Now, I cut the wires to the speaker because this one was hack jobbed up, so there was no Molex connector or quick disconnect or anything like that. So I just cut them. Most of the time you won't have to worry about that, but this time I did. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get all these nuts removed. There should be 4 of them. Then the speaker and the speaker grill are going to come off at the same time. Then I'll get the right size nut or socket to get these nuts off for the coin door. There'll be, let's see, there should be 1, 2, 3, should be 4 or 5, I'm thinking, something like that. And then, yeah, take the coin box out too. And that'll be all the major stuff. Then we can do the wire harness and, oh, no, we got a marquee to take out yet, so we'll do that too. Alright, so the speaker and speaker grill came off fairly easily. Definitely pretty dirty, gonna need some cleaning up, repainting and all that. Speaker's definitely filthy, but it's in good shape. It'll still work. Alright, now let's figure out what size we're gonna need for the coin door. And just if you're wondering, I ended up having to use a 9mm for the speaker. Now I'm just taking a guess that the coin door is going to be a 10mm. Yep. So the coin door is a 10mm. To make this easier, you want to have that open. Take the coin box out, of course. There's going to be 4, actually. One on the top middle, bottom middle, right middle, and left middle. I already disconnected the wire harness. It had a Multicade connector, so it's just pull it apart and you're ready to go. The right middle didn't have a nut on it, so now I come over to this one. I'm going to close up the door so I can kind of balance it a little bit better, so it don't just come flying off. Okay, now from here, I'm just going to pull this straight out, like so. There we go. Carefully close it, because these will pinch your fingers pretty good too. Be careful when you do that. Okay, there's our midway coin door. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get this marquee lamp removed, and it's just going to be yeah, it should just be the 1/4" nut driver. Yep, 1/4" nut driver. There's 4 screws, 2 on each side. Take them off. Oh, and don't forget to unplug the entire assembly, because it does have a Multicade connector on the end, so you can unplug it and not have to worry about everything else. Alright, now all we do is just pull this on out. Okay, there's our marquee lamp. Get that put to the side now too. Okay, now let's get on to a few more parts. We're going to take the wire harnesses out, and if you look closely, see, there's a good one. There are these little zip tie connectors that are held on by a 1/4" nut, so a 1/4" screw. So you just use a 1/4" nut driver and take all those off. I'm also going to be taking this arm ripper 3000 off as well, so that's just out of the way during cabinet repair. And as you can see right here, I already took the power switch off, which would normally go right in that hole right there. I just did that ahead of time just because I just wanted it out of the way when I did the marquee. But we're going to go ahead and get the rest of these out and go from there, I guess. Not much left after this. 2 more things, I think? Yeah, 2 more things. Alright, let's do it. Okay, there it is. Got that harness removed out of there. So now I need to take the T-molding off and then get this jerry-rigged up angle iron for that monitor mount taken care of as well. I'm not going to film that part because honestly, I mean, that's not That's not how they're normally set up. Somebody just did whatever they had to do to make it work. That's pretty much what it was. Other than that, I'll show you how to strip off the T-molding, but we're pretty much done. Alright guys, so basically at this point we're just taking the T-molding off, and T-molding is extremely easy to do. All you really have to do is just get your all-time favorite flat blade screwdriver and find an end. Just one of the ends. Right over here. Get it underneath there and get it started. Alright, once it's started, then you just start pulling. And you just grab it, and we just pull it. Sometimes you got tight bottom corners and stuff. You just take your foot and kind of pull it. There you go. All done. There's your T-molding done. I'm going to do the other side off camera. There's no real reason to record it. There's nothing fancy or special about it. It's just T-molding. Okay, so like I said, that was how you do the T-molding. I got this side already done, so didn't need to see it twice, honestly. I mean, overall, the cabinet's in condition. I've seen worse, that's for sure. I would prefer it to be a lot better, but we got a lot of work to do to this. Majorly. But we will get it done, and it will look nice when it's all done and over with. And like I mentioned before, this is just part 1. So, stay tuned. Part 2 will be coming out, and part 2 is going to be the cabinet video. We'll actually go ahead and work on all the damage. We'll do a more detailed, fine look of the cabinet and see what we need to do and turn it back into gold again. So, other than that, just go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and there's a bell down there I found out. If you hit that, it'll let you know when part 2 comes out, so you can check out the rest of it. So, alright, until next time, I'm on to the next repair, and this is just gonna I gotta get ready to clean it out. So, everyone have a great night. We'll see you all later.